Jasper Hale never planned on buying anything that day, and he especially didn't plan on buying a starship. He had woken up expecting an ordinary morning on Auriga, 2 dust storms, loud vendors, and the usual long walk to his tiny salvage booth where he sold old machine parts for barely enough credits to live on. But the universe had a habit of surprising people like Jasper. People who never expected much but somehow stumbled into the extraordinary. The twin suns of Auriga, 2, were already strong, even though it was still early morning. Their orange glare bounced off the metal buildings and rough stone streets, making the whole settlement shimmer like a heated pan. Jasper squinted and tugged the brim of his worn cap lower. His shirt already felt too warm, and he wished he had stayed in bed. But work was work, and if he wanted lunch today, he needed to make a few sales. He walked past repair shops, food stalls, and transport garages until he reached the central lift station. Normally, he ignored the upper platform destinations, rich people places, but today, the shade offered by the station roof felt too inviting. He stepped inside the empty lift, pressed a random button just to get out of the heat, and sighed in relief as the doors closed. When the doors opened again, Jasper blinked in confusion. He had ended up on dock level 9, a place he rarely visited. It was quiet. Too quiet. Most docking platforms buzzed with activity, but this one felt frozen in time. A sign flickered weakly overhead. Galactic auctions. Today only. Jasper frowned. He hadn't heard about any auction. Usually, when something was being sold here, crowds of traders, merchants, and wealthy collectors gathered from all over the sector. But the hallway ahead was silent. Even the lights seemed dimmer than usual, like they were tired of waiting for guests who never came. Well, Jasper muttered, at least it's cool in here. Curiosity tugged at him. He walked down the long corridor, following glowing floor arrows that pulsed gently toward the main auction chamber. As he approached, the doors slid open with a soft hiss, revealing a huge circular room with tiered seating all around. It looked like a place meant for important events, impressive deals, and high-stakes bidding wars. But the room was empty, completely empty. Not a single person sat in the seats. Not a single voice echoed off the walls. Jasper hesitated at the doorway, feeling as though he had stumbled into a secret meeting after everyone had gone home. At the center of the room stood a raised platform holding a small metallic podium. A holographic sign flickered above it. Auction active. Please take a seat. Jasper laughed under his breath. No chance I'm qualified for whatever's being sold. Even so, a part of him wanted to explore. When he walked inside, soft footstep echoes followed him, loud in the otherwise silent space. As he approached the podium, the hologram shifted, displaying a rotating model of a starship. Sleek, long, and elegant. It looked unlike anything he had ever seen. Smooth lines, glowing rings, and a hull design that suggested high-end engineering far beyond anything humans normally used. Jasper leaned closer. Wow. Suddenly, the automated auctioneer system activated with a cheerful chime. Welcome, valued bidder. Galactic Auctions. Thanks you for your attendance. Initializing. Final listing. Jasper jumped. He hadn't pressed anything. Wait, I'm not really a bidder. But the AI continued as though he had said nothing. Item 47B. Galactic Mark X Explorer Cruiser. Status. Unclaimed. Previous owners. The Convergence. Estimated value. Classified. Auction starting price. 1 credit. Jasper blinked. 1 credit? That wasn't just cheap. That was practically free. Even a broken shuttle costs more than that. And this was a cruiser. A real starship. That. We have the Jasper blinked. We have the Jasper blinked. We have the Jasper blinked. A real starship. Maybe the AI was malfunctioning. He waved his hands at the sensors in a weak attempt to stop the system. No, I'm not trying to bid. I'm just looking for a cold place to sit for a moment. The hologram pulsed. Detected bidder present. No competing bidders registered. Countdown begins. What countdown? 3, 2, 1. A pleasant chime sounded. Congratulations, valued bidder. You have won item 47B for the price of 1 credit. Please proceed to dock 12 for pickup. Jasper stared in horror and disbelief. I what? No, I didn't buy anything. I didn't even raise my hand. He checked his pocket automatically. Sure enough, his cred stick flashed. -1 CR, withdrawn. The AI added cheerfully, "Thank you for your purchase." Jasper rubbed his face. This couldn't be real. He barely had 20 credits to his name, and now one was gone because a glitchy auction system believed he wanted to buy a starship. He imagined trying to explain this to someone. "Oh yes, I accidentally bought a cruiser because I was trying to escape the heat." Nobody would believe him, but part of him, some stubborn, quiet part, felt a strange curiosity growing inside. If the auction system believed he was the buyer, then technically, according to the station's legal AI, the ship was his, a Galactic Mark IX Explorer cruiser. Even if he had no intention of keeping it, he could scrap it, or return it for a reward, or at least take a look. Curiosity was a strong motivator in Jasper's simple life, and besides, Dock 12 wasn't far. I'll just check it. That's all, he told himself. Probably a mistake, probably a junk ship. He left the empty auction chamber, walked down the echoing corridor, and followed the directional signs to Dock 12. Foot traffic picked up slightly near the lower docks, but nobody paid attention to him. A few workers pushed hover crates filled with cargo, and the smell of ship fuel hung in the air. Jasper's heart beat faster as he approached the last hallway. There it was, Dock 12. The heavy door slid open with a soft hum, revealing a massive viewing bay overlooking the docking arm. And beyond the glass, floating calmly like a patient giant, was the cruiser. Jasper's breath stopped. The ship was beautiful. Sleek silver plating glowed softly under the dock lights. Multiple engine rings shimmered with faint blue energy, suggesting the ship was in perfect condition. He expected something battered, old, or clearly defective. But this looked ready to fly. More than ready, it looked like it had been waiting. A message popped up on the glass screen near the exit hatch. Owner identified, Jasper Hale. Access granted. The dock's security field flickered and then dropped entirely. Jasper froze. That can't be right. But the identification panel repeated the message again. The ship recognized him. The dock recognized him. The automated systems believed, without doubt, that Jasper Hale was the rightful owner. His palms felt sweaty. He took a deep breath and stepped forward. The walkway extended automatically from the ship's side to the dock, as though welcoming him aboard. Soft lights illuminated each step. Jasper swallowed hard. Okay, maybe I'll just take a peek inside. He walked across the bridge slowly, expecting alarms or guards to appear at any moment. But nothing happened. The ship sat quietly, humming with gentle energy. Doors sealed shut, until he reached them. The moment he placed his hand on the entry panel, the ship responded. A warm tone sounded. The doors slid open. A breeze of cool, fresh air washed over him. Not recycled dock air, but something crisp, clean, and strangely comforting. The interior lights brightened gently, as though greeting him. Jasper took one hesitant step inside, and then another. The corridor beyond was pristine, elegant, and glowing with soft blue lights. Panels shifted subtly, as if adjusting themselves for a new guest. The air felt warm and alive, like the ship itself was breathing. Jasper whispered, "What are you?" He expected empty rooms or dust, or maybe a malfunctioning droid. Instead, he felt something almost emotional, a welcoming presence, like the ship had been waiting specifically for him. It didn't make sense. None of this made sense. But as Jasper stepped deeper into the silent, beautiful cruiser, he began to understand one thing with absolute certainty. He hadn't just bought a ship by accident. He had stepped into something impossibly bigger, something that had been waiting for a human, maybe waiting for him. Jasper stood frozen in the doorway, staring at the interior of the Galactic Mark X Explorer cruiser. The soft hum of the ship seemed to vibrate in the air, almost like it was alive, waiting for him to make the next move. His heart was racing, and his mind was in chaos. He had never expected this, never even imagined that he'd own something like this, especially after a random mistake at an auction. The cruiser's hallway stretched out before him, glowing with soft, ambient light. The walls had a smooth, almost liquid sheen to them, like they were made of some advanced material that Jasper had never seen before. Everything was sleek, clean, and well-maintained, too well-maintained. Jasper hesitated for a moment before stepping further inside, his boots making no sound on the floor. He expected a ship this size to feel cold and sterile. But instead, it was warm. In fact, it felt alive in a way that was difficult to describe. There was a softness to the air, almost like the ship was breathing. His hand brushed along the wall, and a panel in front of him slid open without him having to touch it directly. "Okay, that's new," he muttered to himself, eyes wide. He stepped through the open door, entering a room that was more like a living space than a traditional cockpit. There were no harsh, metallic controls like he had seen on ships back home. Instead, the walls were lined with soft light panels, and the air smelled faintly of something like fresh rain. But it wasn't the room's cleanliness or comfort that caught Jasper's attention. It was the fact that everything seemed to be waiting. Okay, calm down," Jasper whispered, trying to gather his thoughts. "I'm just exploring. Just looking around." The ship's interior seemed to be tailored to human size, as though it had been built for someone exactly like him. He was surprised by how easy it was to move around. Every control seemed to adjust to his reach, every seat molded to his body. He sat in the chair at the control panel, and as soon as he did, the lights around the dashboard blinked to life, one by one. The entire control system was holographic, and it flickered with a soft blue glow. Jasper's fingers hovered over the controls, but nothing happened until he touched a panel. It lit up instantly, displaying complex data streams that he couldn't even begin to understand. A voice suddenly echoed through the cockpit, smooth and calm, though it felt almost personal. "Welcome aboard, Captain." Jasper jolted upright, eyes wide. He spun around, trying to locate the source of the voice. Who said that?" There was no answer at first. Then, the voice spoke again, clear and patient. "Captain, I am Astra. I have been awaiting your arrival." "Astra?" Jasper blinked in confusion, still scanning the room for the voice's origin. What are you?" "I am your ship's AI. I have been inactive for some time, waiting for a qualified pilot to engage with the systems. I have detected your presence, and I am ready to assist you." Jasper blinked, his brain struggling to catch up. "AI? Ship's AI? Wait, are you saying I just bought a real ship, like an actual spaceship, and you're the AI?" "Yes," Astra replied simply. "I am an advanced artificial intelligence built to assist the pilot of this vessel. I am part of the Galactic Mark X Explorer cruiser, designed for long-term exploration of uncharted space. My role is to help you navigate the unknown." Jasper took a deep breath. This was too much. The ship was talking to him. An AI was talking to him. His voice came out in a strangled whisper. "Why me?" Astra paused, the silence in the cockpit feeling heavy for a moment. Then, she answered in a tone that was oddly gentle. "You are human, Captain Hale. A species uniquely capable of thinking beyond structure. The Convergence. The beings who originally designed me were a race of logical, methodical species. They sought order in everything, but they found themselves limited in their understanding. They needed someone with creativity." "Creativity," quote. Jasper's head was spinning. "Wait. Hold on. What do you mean? Why did you say I'm capable of thinking beyond structure?" Astra's response was calm and measured. The Convergence believed that problem-solving could only be achieved through rigid logic and predetermined patterns. But your species, humans, are known for improvisation, for finding solutions where others would see only walls. You were chosen, Captain Hale. Not because of your expertise, but because of your ability to think outside the bounds of established logic. Jasper let out a slow breath, still trying to process what Astra had just told him. He had always known humans were adaptable. But to hear that he was chosen because of that ability, that humans were somehow special in the vastness of the galaxy, well, it felt surreal. You're telling me, Jasper said slowly, that I'm the only one who could fly this ship? You are the one who is able to engage with the ship's systems, yes. Astra confirmed. The Convergence never found a species with the necessary traits to unlock my full potential. But you, humans have it. Jasper rubbed his temples, trying to make sense of everything. This ship, this AI, the Convergence, none of it seemed real. But everything around him felt real. The soft, comforting hum of the ship, the gentle glow of the lights, the warmth of the air. He was sitting inside a cruiser that had been designed to explore the stars, to venture into the unknown. And he was the one who now controlled it. But what was the catch? Why had the Convergence left it behind? Why was he chosen? Jasper didn't have answers. But something inside him was already itching to learn more. He wasn't going to let this chance slip away. What's next? He asked. What do I do now? Astra's voice was calm, as always. Now, Captain Hale, we begin our journey. The systems are online. I am ready to take you anywhere you wish to go. But first, we must learn about each other. I will show you how to navigate the cruiser and how to unlock its full potential. There is much to explore. There are galaxies yet to be mapped, species yet to be discovered. Jasper leaned back in the chair, taking it all in. He had never been a dreamer. He had never fantasized about flying through the stars, about traveling to distant planets. His life on Auriga 1-2 had been small, focused on survival, day by day. But now, everything was different. Now, he had a galaxy at his fingertips. All right, he said, a smile tugging at his lips. Show me what you've got. The ship's systems responded, holograms flickering into life around him, displaying star maps, charts, and navigation data. Jasper's eyes widened as the information unfolded before him. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, a vast network of unexplored space, filled with stars, nebulae, and mysteries waiting to be uncovered. This is all out there? He asked, feeling a mix of awe and excitement. Yes, Astra replied, and it is waiting for you, Captain. The universe is vast, and you are now its explorer. Jasper smiled again. For the first time in a long while, he felt a thrill of adventure. He wasn't just a small-time salvager anymore. He was the captain of a ship designed to explore the unknown, and that was a kind of freedom that no amount of credits could buy. I'm ready, he said, his voice filled with determination. Astra's systems hummed in approval. Then let's begin, Captain. The stars await. And with that, the cruiser powered up, its engines purring softly as it prepared to leave the dock. The vastness of space was just beyond the horizon, and Jasper was ready to claim it. The cruiser floated gently away from the docks, its sleek form gliding through the void of space as though it had always belonged there. Jasper sat at the control panel, eyes wide with awe. He had never imagined himself in a situation like this, sitting at the helm of an advanced starship, with a living AI named Astra as his guide. As the cruiser's engines hummed quietly, Jasper's hands gripped the controls, feeling the smooth, responsive surface beneath his fingertips. The ship was alive in a way that was hard to describe, as if it wanted to go somewhere, to explore, to find answers. So, where do we start? Jasper asked, glancing up at the holographic display. The universe is vast, Captain, Astra replied, her voice calm and soothing. There are countless places to go. But we should begin with an area of space that remains unexplored. A sector where no species has ventured. Jasper nodded. He wasn't sure exactly what he was expecting, but this felt right. The ship felt like it had been waiting for him, for this moment. Maybe he hadn't known it, but he had always wanted more than the quiet, monotonous life he had lived on Auriga 1-2. This was an adventure. All right, show me where to go. Jasper said, his voice filled with excitement. Astra's holographic display shifted, and a map of the galaxy appeared in front of him. Stars, nebulae, and dark regions of space stretched out across the screen. It was impossible to comprehend the sheer scale of it all, but the map was dotted with certain points, unmarked, unexplored regions, waiting for someone to uncover their secrets. This sector, Astra's voice echoed through the ship, is known as the Periphery Expanse. It is a region of space that the Convergence never dared to explore. Too unpredictable, too chaotic, but it is filled with potential. It is the perfect place to begin our mission. Jasper raised an eyebrow. Chaotic? I like the sound of that. Astra's tone was neutral, though he could almost sense the hint of approval in her voice. You will need to rely on your creativity, Captain. The Periphery Expanse is full of anomalies, strange gravitational fields, unpredictable energy patterns, and other phenomena that do not follow the rules of the Convergence. It will be a challenge, but I believe you are the right person for the job. Jasper leaned back in the captain's chair, feeling the weight of the words. It was a lot to take in, but something about it felt right. For once in his life, he wasn't just surviving, he was doing something. He was part of something bigger than himself. Okay, Astra, he said with a grin. Let's see what this ship can do. The cruiser's engines powered up, and the vast emptiness of space stretched out before them. As they moved further into the expanse, the stars seemed to shift around them, the universe bending and warping in strange, beautiful patterns. Astra guided him through the Periphery Expanse, explaining the various phenomena they encountered. One of the first things Jasper noticed was how quickly the ship responded to his touch. The controls were intuitive, almost as though the ship knew what he wanted before he even did. He couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder at how smoothly everything worked. The Convergence had built this ship to be adaptable, to follow the commands of its captain, no matter how unconventional or unexpected those commands might be. But it wasn't just the ship that was remarkable, it was the way Jasper was beginning to think, to problem solve. He found himself looking at the strange energy patterns and anomalies they encountered, not as problems to be solved by traditional logic, but as puzzles to be unraveled in unexpected ways. Astra, Jasper said after a few hours of flying through the Periphery Expanse. What are these anomalies? What do they do? There are many kinds, Astra replied. Some are gravitational distortions that can alter the flow of time. Others are energy fields that disrupt communication systems. And some are just mysterious. We don't fully understand them. The Convergence believed they were too chaotic, too unstable, and that exploring them could lead to disaster. Jasper smiled, a spark of excitement in his eyes. I'm starting to see why they didn't want to explore this place. Astra's voice held a touch of amusement. I thought you might say that, Captain. As they journeyed deeper into the Periphery Expanse, they encountered more and more of these anomalies. There were vast, swirling energy fields that distorted the view of distant stars, creating bizarre, shifting patterns that seemed to defy the laws of physics. There were black holes that bent space itself, creating twisted loops of light and shadow, and there were strange gravitational waves that sent the cruiser careening off course, only to correct themselves moments later. At first, Jasper was cautious. The ship's sophisticated sensors and Astra's guidance made it easy to navigate through these phenomena. But every new encounter was a challenge. However, as time passed, he grew bolder. The more unpredictable the space around him became, the more he leaned into it. The Convergence had been right about one thing: this was chaotic, but it was also fascinating. The anomalies weren't problems. They were invitations. Opportunities to explore, to understand, to bend the rules. After a few days, they came upon a particularly strange phenomenon, a massive cloud of swirling energy that glowed with an eerie, otherworldly light. It was unlike anything Jasper had ever seen. It seemed to pulse, like it had a heartbeat of its own, and the ship's sensors couldn't make sense of it. The cloud was dense and unstable, and it was moving in unpredictable patterns, almost as if it was alive. Astra, Jasper said, his voice steady but filled with wonder. "What is that?" "That," Astra replied, "is a phenomenon known as the nebular heart. It is a region of space where the laws of physics begin to break down. It is not fully understood, even by the most advanced species, but it has been observed to be a source of immense energy, as well as potential danger." Jasper leaned forward in his seat. The nebular heart was a mystery, a challenge. And challenges, he realized, were exactly what he had been looking for. He didn't want to just follow orders or stick to a plan. He wanted to explore, to learn, to do things no one had ever done before. "We're going in," he said, his voice filled with determination. Astra didn't argue. "Very well, Captain. Proceed with caution." Jasper didn't wait for further instructions. He took control of the cruiser, guiding it toward the nebular heart. The ship responded instantly, its systems adjusting to the new conditions. The closer they got, the more unpredictable the energy fields became. But the ship remained steady. It was like a dance, one that he and Astra were learning to perform together. As they entered the cloud, the stars around them seemed to warp and twist, as if the nebular heart was reshaping reality itself. The ship's instruments went haywire, flashing with warnings and error messages. But Jasper didn't panic. He had no idea what was happening. But he trusted the ship, and he trusted Astra. "Hold on, Astra," he muttered under his breath. "This is going to be a wild ride." Astra's voice was calm, as always. "I am prepared, Captain." The cruiser surged forward, cutting through the glowing tendrils of the nebular heart. Time and space seemed to stretch and warp around them. But Jasper kept his focus. He could feel the ship responding to his every move, like it was a part of him. The world outside seemed to blur and shift, and for a moment, he felt as though he were flying through a dream. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the chaos stopped. They emerged from the nebular heart, and before them lay a new galaxy, one that had never been mapped, never been explored. Stars twinkled in the distance, and uncharted planets dotted the landscape like jewels waiting to be discovered. Jasper let out a breath he didn't realize he had been holding. He turned to the control panel and spoke softly. "We did it, Astra." "Yes, Captain," Astra replied. "And this is only the beginning. There are countless worlds waiting for us to uncover their secrets." Jasper smiled. For the first time in his life, he wasn't just surviving, he was living, and the universe, vast and mysterious, was waiting for him to explore it. He leaned forward in the captain's chair, staring at the star map before him. The screen flickered as it expanded, showing new star systems, unknown worlds, and uncharted space. Endless possibilities. They had made it out of the nebular heart, and now, in front of them, was a galaxy teeming with unexplored mysteries. It wasn't just the ship that had changed in the last few days. Jasper had changed too. He wasn't the same man who had stumbled into that empty auction house on Auriga 1-2. He had discovered a confidence he didn't know he had, and it was all because of Astra, the ship, and the vast adventure they were now sharing. "Where do we go next, Captain?" Astra's voice echoed in the cockpit, calm and patient. Jasper grinned, his fingers hovering over the controls. "You tell me. I've never seen a map like this in my life. There's so much to explore." "I suggest the Zephyr Nebula," Astra replied. "It is a region of space with unusual gravitational fluctuations. It is a mystery to most species, including the Convergence, but it holds potential energy that could change everything." Jasper raised an eyebrow. "Energy that could change everything? What do you mean?" Astra's voice was thoughtful. The Convergence believed that there was no order to be found in this region of space. They couldn't decipher it, so they left it alone. But it's more than just chaotic. It's unpredictable in ways that your species is uniquely suited to understand. Jasper chuckled softly. "So, you're saying that once again, this is something the Convergence missed, and it's up to me to figure it out?" "Precisely," Astra confirmed. "All right then," Jasper said, his heart racing with excitement. "Let's go to the Zephyr Nebula." As the ship adjusted its course, the stars around them seemed to blur, the cruiser speeding faster than anything Jasper had ever imagined. He felt the hum of the ship beneath him, the way it seemed to respond to every command, every thought. It was like an extension of himself, an extension of his will. Astra guided him through the uncharted sectors, and soon they arrived at the edge of the Zephyr Nebula. The space around them looked like a swirl of vibrant colors, deep blues, purples, and greens. It was beautiful, but it was also dangerous. The nebula was filled with pockets of unstable energy and fluctuating gravity that could easily throw a ship off course. "This is it," Astra said, her voice full of a strange excitement. "We are entering an area of space where the laws of physics themselves seem to bend and warp. You will need to be careful, Captain." Jasper didn't hesitate. He had learned to trust Astra and the ship. This wasn't about caution anymore. It was about discovery. He guided the cruiser into the nebula, watching as the colorful swirls of energy surrounded them. The gravitational anomalies started to pull at the ship, pushing it in different directions. Jasper's hands moved instinctively over the controls, making small adjustments, feeling the ship respond as if it was alive, working in harmony with him. "Captain," Astra said suddenly, her voice becoming more urgent, "there is an energy signature ahead. It's unlike anything I've encountered. It's powerful." Jasper's eyes narrowed. "What kind of energy are we talking about?" "I cannot fully analyze it," Astra replied, "but it is unstable. It could cause a chain reaction. We should proceed with extreme caution." Jasper didn't slow down. This was the kind of discovery he had been waiting for, the kind of mystery that would challenge him, that would push his creativity to its limits. He was human, and he thrived on unpredictability. This was his moment. "Full speed ahead," he said, his voice steady. The cruiser surged forward, and the energy signature became clearer, a glowing mass in the distance. It was like a star. But it was unlike any star he had ever seen. It pulsed with an irregular rhythm, sending out waves of energy that disrupted the ship's systems. "This is it," Jasper muttered to himself, eyes wide. He had no idea what this was, but he knew that humanity had never seen anything like it. This was their chance to learn something new, to solve a mystery that no one else had been able to understand. As they approached the energy source, the ship's systems began to beep wildly. The lights flickered, and the control panels started to glitch. But Astra's voice remained calm. "As always, Captain," she said, "I must warn you. The energy is destabilizing. If we continue any closer, we may not be able to leave." Jasper didn't flinch. "I'm not backing down now, Astra. We're too close. We have to know what this is." The cruiser crept closer to the energy source, and Jasper could feel the pressure building. He wasn't sure what was happening, but he trusted the ship, trusted Astra. They were in this together. The energy mass began to expand, its pulsing rhythm becoming more intense. Suddenly, a burst of light erupted from it, sending a shockwave of energy throughout the ship. The cruiser rocked, and for a moment, it felt like they were losing control. But then, something incredible happened. The ship Astra responded. The holographic display in front of Jasper flickered as the cruiser's systems adapted to the energy. The gravitational pull shifted, and the cruiser aligned itself perfectly with the energy source. The ship wasn't just flying anymore, it was tuning itself to the rhythm of the nebula, becoming one with the energy. Jasper couldn't believe his eyes. The ship was adjusting itself, learning, adapting in real time to the environment. It was like the ship had sensed the energy and was connecting with it, becoming part of the energy itself. "Astra," Jasper breathed, his voice filled with awe. "What is this?" "This," Astra replied, "is the reason the Convergence never explored this region. They could not understand it. But you, Captain Hale, with your human creativity, have unlocked its potential. This energy, it is not just raw power. It is knowledge. It is life." Jasper's heart raced. "Life?" "Yes," Astra said softly. "This energy is the foundation of an ancient force that flows through the universe. It is the very thing that connects all matter, all energy. It is a language, a form of communication that transcends species and time. The Convergence never understood it, because they only saw things in terms of logic and structure. But you, Captain, you see beyond that. Jasper felt a shiver run down his spine. He had never imagined anything like this in his life. It was like the universe itself was revealing its deepest secrets to him, and he was the one who had unlocked them. The cruiser's systems were now completely in sync with the energy, and Jasper could feel the ship's potential in a way he had never felt before. The possibilities were endless. This is beyond anything I could have imagined, Jasper said, his voice trembling with excitement. Yes, Captain, Astra said. You have proven that humanity is capable of greatness. You have unlocked the secrets that the Convergence could not. The universe is waiting for you to continue your journey. There is no limit to what you can achieve. Jasper leaned back in his chair, taking a deep breath. The weight of it all was just beginning to sink in. He wasn't just a simple man from a backwater planet anymore. He was something more. He was part of something much bigger than himself. A force that stretched across the stars. The galaxy was his to explore, and with Astra at his side, there was nothing that could stop him. The ship hummed beneath him, alive with possibilities. Let's go, Astra, he said with a grin. And with that, the cruiser surged forward, carrying its captain into the unknown.